10 seconds.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the View from the Dead Box. We are coming up on MVPS this week. Mike's not going to be there. He's a bitch.
I'm not going to be there. I got some stuff happening, so I got some family things I got to do. It sucks because MVPS I mostly coach, but fucking microphone's wiggling around on me. So it's gonna suck not to be there because there's lots of cool things happening. They got and you guys are playing D3X with the VM guys, right?
Yeah.
So and then we have our D5 team. So we don't have a D4 team this night, but they're doing the one-on-one thing. Are you gonna jump in on that?
I was waiting to see how many guys they're going to have, but it looks like it's going to be directly after the prelims of D3, and then it goes right back into playing D3 again.
Yeah, go for it.
There's a lot of
you can do it.
I don't have two events to play.
Yeah, that's what I mean. You should do it. Jamie should do it too.
I think Jamie. Well, I think he was fucking around yesterday.
He needs to.
He was talking about doing it.
Yeah, I think both of y'all should do it. I would just like to see where y'all stand. I'd love it if it come down to you two guys. That'd be fucking great.
Yeah.
One of y'all would nonstop talk shit to the other for the rest of eternity.
Oh,
even if y'all played other one-on-ones later on, whoever wins the first one would be the person who owned it for life.
That's the one that matters.
It is the one that matters.
How many guys are going to have? How big do you think it'll be?
I don't know. Are they doing?
It's on APPA.
Is it on APPA? I'll pull it up.
She was looking at yesterday. I think I had 10 or 5 paid, 10 signed up. So
yeah, I'm sure they'll have between 10 and 15. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think that should be very easy to get with the amount of teams that show up. There are 8 paid, 13 signed up. So I definitely say it's still between 10 and 15 total. You'll see. So I'm saying 1.5. Oh, and it's only $25.
See, I'm poor, dude.
Yeah, okay. You spend $25 on fucking lunch for yourself, not including your wife each day. I get those Snapchats. This is off topic, but how much do you think you spend a week on lunch at work?
Probably.
I mean, it's 2 people too, but
in between, I don't know, 150, $200 probably.
That's what I was gonna say too. I'll say at least one.
That's the work week.
Yeah.
Just the work week. So yeah, nothing crazy.
Yeah, nothing crazy.
Just $800 a month.
Yeah, no big deal. NVD. Yeah, it sucks when you think about it like that, huh? Oh fuck, that was it. Shit, $800. Well, since we're talking about the one-on-ones, I had Arthur at the field. Obviously, we know him. You know him. People that listen don't know him, but he plays the field with us in our Project X team. He sent me a list of some topics, so it's kind of nice getting them from some of the people around me. Your wife does it sometimes. I've had a couple other people here and there message me, and we use them. I try to give them shout outs when I remember that was a topic from them. But he asked if you could one-on-one any pro player, past or present, who would it be? And it doesn't have to be to win necessarily. Who do you think would be the most fun pro, past or present, to 1v1? Or you would enjoy or could learn from? You know what I mean? There's a million ways you could look at it.
I mean, I think I would just go with the obvious, probably Oliver Lang.
You would go with Oliver Lang? I mean, that's
because everybody, he's the majority viewed as the GOAT.
Yeah, right? I mean, he is for sure.
So not many guys can say they got a chance to play against him directly, especially in a one-on-one.
Yeah. If you had a number 2, who would it be? Now I'm just curious. Pick your brain a little more.
Probably Chris Lasoya. Probably.
Lasoya. See, my number. His prime, yeah, because it's different than Chris Lasoya now. Because that's the same thing. I mean, Oliver Lang, he quit playing 6 years ago now, probably 2015, 2016. I'm not exactly sure, but I was gonna say Oliver Lang is my one, and my number 2 was Matty Marshall. But I want excessive era Matty Marshall. I didn't want 16-year-old Matty Marshall where he was smarter than everybody at his time, but I also don't want almost 50-year-old Matty Marshall now because I could probably run laps around him barely. But maybe I don't know. After seeing those races we had going on yesterday,
yeah.
But yeah, that was a quick little question he had asked for both of us, and I thought that was kind of a fun one. So let's get into big topic I got from your wife. What about Team USA paintball?
Yeah, buddy. It's crazy how it keeps unfolding and more and more until as
I
of
agree.
about 40 minutes ago, and this is August 9th. So it's crazy to see, like,
Has there been another update?
Yes. We shared it in chat about 30 minutes ago.
Okay.
Yeah, Team USA, I think, has removed her off the team fully. They had her at practice yesterday, to my understanding. And then what they did was she didn't play because she was quote unquote suspended. Then I think they said in the post that she's been removed from the team, which wasn't going to be a big deal. It's to them, it's more of like a covered their ass for publicity.
It
yeah,
is.
You know what I mean? But talking to the other guys, it's crazy because people are so like on the fence, like up and down, and I can see from both sides. Yes. Like I've definitely said way worse things than she said to that person, but I definitely don't have the platform that she was speaking from. And she was also saying it about a kid that was in ICU, like somewhat struggling for his life, right?
Yeah.
So it's kind of like, how fucking dumb do you have to be to say something like that in that respect?
Yes.
Like, I have said probably worse things, but I don't say them on a public forum, like standing on a soapbox. Like,
thankfully, our program isn't as big as hers.
Yeah. So, and with that backing behind me, like the Team USA, you gotta think like it's like driving a company truck.
It is like driving a company truck. Yeah.
Like you're driving a rolling billboard. So no matter what you do, if you cut somebody off or speed or pass somebody, like you get a call.
Yeah.
Like I get calls at work all the time about our guys driving like fucking idiots.
Yeah, playing on cell phones. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, yeah, this guy drove past me. He was talking on a cell phone. This guy was swerving back and forth. This guy changed lanes and cut me off. This guy was speeding about 80 mile an hour with a trailer behind it. It's like, I had to hear all this shit every fucking day at work and talk to the guys about it. When I'm like, how many times have we talked? Like, don't fucking text and drive. You can text and drive when you go home. That's fine. Text and drive and then run your family off into a ditch, crash and burn alive. That's fine. Yeah. Don't do it in a company trucks. I don't want to fucking deal with it. You know what I mean? And it's like, I always tell them, like, you are in a rolling billboard. Yep. They go to lunch and they go to like in somewhere to eat. They're wearing like the company shirt. It's like, hey, like they know how you act and they just know who to call because the name's on the back of the shirt. Like you just can't be, no matter what you believe, right? Because whether you agree with what she said or not, you can't be that fucking stupid and say something when you're getting quote unquote on Team USA, which is kind of a gimmick as it is. That team's fucking bullshit, right? But it's like you can't. You just can't. You can't. It doesn't make any sense to do that. You can't.
Well, because like you said, the Team USA, people see it. People don't realize how small paintball is. She's like, not to say this, I don't mean to be mean with it. She's a big-ish fish in a small pond. Like paintball as a whole.
Like a bathtub.
Yeah, like a bathtub. Like
she's like the goldfish that's sitting on the end of your grandma's fucking end table that's like about to die. You know what I mean? Like a bitty bitty fishbowl. You know what I mean?
And I'm not saying that to be mean, but when people see Team USA, they think paintball all of a sudden is way bigger than they thought. So now the people that saw her video, the numbers in the beginning were probably very small, and it took one person to share it to the other person, which I don't know anything about them. I've learned a little bit about them from reading these comments, but I don't know enough to say. But it seems like that's what they like to do, is call people out.
Yeah, this person definitely likes to cancel people.
Yeah, I have issues with that too.
I don't agree with cancel culture.
No, I don't.
By any means. No. Because this girl who is going after the Team USA player is like, she gets off on canceling people. Like, this is literally what she does. She has like hundreds of posts. Do I agree with that? Absolutely not. I think that's fucking pussy. I think that is literally a pussy way of going about your life. If your life sucks that fucking bad, where you literally go on all these random posts and look for something that offends you just to try to get them canceled, like, your life fucking sucks.
Yeah.
Like your life fucking sucks. Was she wrong? No.
Yeah, no, absolutely not. The girl fucked up.
You know what I mean? So I was literally just talking to somebody about this earlier, and it's crazy because the way certain people think about the topic, it's like they think cancel culture is this and it's that, and I fucking hate it too. But I'm like, listen, the girl's not wrong. Like,
no, she's not wrong.
Cancel culture is fucking stupid, but she has a leg to stand on. It's like, you know what I mean? She is debating a correct point. So it's wild.
Yeah.
And for any of you guys who haven't seen or don't understand what we're totally talking about, earlier this week, there was a TikTok that was made with this lady and her kid. The kid's like on a breathing machine in the ICU bed, and he's struggling to breathe, obviously. And the lady says something, da 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 da. And she's like, please, everybody go out, get your vaccines, get your shots, blah, 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 blah. And it cuts, right? And then Jesse from Team USA pops up on an overlay over the girl's video. And she's like, ma'am, your kid doesn't need a vaccine. He needs a fucking treadmill. The kid is fat. Yes.
Yeah.
But the kid is on a fucking an ICU bed.
Yeah, it's just on a breathing machine. Don't say, man. It's like it blows my mind because you've said it. When we first started talking about this, you've said some bad things to people. I've said some bad things to people. And at the time, I mean, I shouldn't have said it, regardless of what it is. But it's just you don't do it when you shouldn't do it at all, hands down, end of story. But you really don't do it when you have a platform like that. And when you have, like you said, the backing of quote unquote Team USA. Yeah. So I don't know.
As small as it is, it's because people think of Team USA, they're like, oh my God, Team USA. But really, she was only going to go to Europe and play one event against two teams. So it was going to be kind of dog shit either way. So people are blowing that out of proportion. But,
well, and the thing that gets it right now, they're not wrong, is because the Olympic is still going on. So people that don't know see Team U, you know what I mean? Wow, yes. It's a great headline. I might use it in the title of this, Team USA paintball scandal. You know what I mean? Why wouldn't I? But clickbait, yeah. So there you go. When you see the title of this is Team USA paintball scandal, we'll see how that goes. I mean, I don't know. You just can't do it. I don't agree with either one of them is really how I stand. You don't say it. And I'm not just going to sit here and call people out all day, because you could sit here and call people out all day long. Nobody agrees with anybody.
Yeah,
it's just blows my. But the crazy part is it just happens to be the girl that took second against you guys in the thing. It just seemed like that poor girl.
That's called karma.
I mean, right? It is called karma. And but the thing I know is you, and I've seen some posts from other people. I'm not gonna say their names because I don't want to put words in their mouth. But no one agrees with the girl canceling her, but nobody agrees with what she said. It's everyone's this is kind of bad from both sides, guys. We don't need to go cancel everybody for stuff like this. This, she shouldn't have said it. But there are way worse things that people do in their day-to-day lives. I
mean, I'm sure you've seen some of these comments.
Oh yeah, some of those comments in there people could get canceled from, man.
Yeah, some of his comments, it even sees the guys are like, well, I don't really know the girl, but a lot of these comments on a lot of these posts are all this bitch had it coming. She's a huge toxic troll. She's been doing it for years, and she's telling people to kill themselves on the field. I'm and in my head, I'm I know I'm definitely said things probably equal to that or worse.
Yeah,
but so it's kind of a 3-strike thing. It's you've been saying this stuff for a long time. Now it's bit you in the ass.
Well, it's I mean, if she had said that about another paintball player, while she was playing a paintball tournament, you think anyone would have said nothing?
No,
hands down. But it was because it was someone who came from outside of the paintball universe, and it and it was a kid.
And how about all the people who are seeing paintball for the first time, quote unquote, right?
God dang it. This is where I was trying to segue this to. Fuck you, piece
sorry.
Of shit. That's okay.
Sorry. But this is how they're being introduced to paintball. They're oh, a female paintball player. And they go into it and it's wow, she's a fucking toxic bitch.
I know. That's exactly what they're going.
Welcome to paintball.
I'm hoping someone that like knows that I play paintball asks me about it because I want to be like, I have lots of funny stories about her. Like this is how small paintball actually is. Like,
Yeah, well, it's funny because Matt Davies, right? He's got a pretty big following on TikTok.
Yeah.
And I think I don't know if I talked about this before or not. Somebody sent it to me and it's like, hey, do you know this guy? And I'm like, yeah. I'm like, the dude's actually a local. And he's
Yeah.
like, really? I'm like, yeah. I'm like, paintball's a pretty small community. Like everybody kind of knows everybody. And then today at lunch, we were talking about this scandal, and Cameron, Courtney's brother, we were like, hey, have you seen the video? We were explaining the topic to him, and we're like, when we got to the like, your kid needs a fucking treadmill. He goes, yeah, I've heard that video. And it's like, it's funny, right? Because he has absolutely no clue who the girl is or what she's involved in, but he has seen that video and knows exactly what we're talking about. And it's just hilarious. I'm like, so all these people who don't know about paintball have been introduced to paintball, and now
Yep.
I've seen Daily Mail UK has a story on it.
That's
now.
actually the link I have pulled up over here was who I
But
was.
yeah, so a lot of these bigger places are now getting into it. You know, I'm waiting to see how far it's going to go, which is definitely has been blown out of proportion. But
it has been blown out of proportion. Now, is it one of those things that like any publicity is good publicity? Like, is this too much for paintball? Because it's not. Is it something that's because
I
paintball
don't think
so
it'll give
small?
paintball a bad name by any means. So I think this won't hurt paintball per se. And all those people who are like looking into it, yeah, it might have raised some awareness to the fact that we have, you know, paintball at a national level.
Yeah, that makes sense. I can handle that.
Yeah.
So I'm looking back through here. These are some more topics from Arthur. This is kind of a good one because I have two that could go with this. So he said, what's the most heated situation you've ever been in a tournament?
Tournament. I have to think on mine. And
you've had a lot more tournaments than I have.
I've had a few heated.
I don't know if you want. I don't even know if it means discussions. Mine are like just playing moments, and I've talked about them before already. But my biggest one is having a player leave and playing like 3-on-5 with me, your brother, and Shane the last 3 or 4 matches of the day. That whole perspective made me change the way I think about certain people and tournament paintball in general, because I've never had anybody not play, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
And it's like it reminded me of that the last CPSL as well, because like we couldn't win at that point in time. There was 10 seconds left on the clock. We were down by 2 points.
We were down
something.
by 2. Yeah.
I mean, and I understood running the towel, but then on the same side, I'm looking at Jamie, and Jamie's like, I can't give them the satisfaction. I'm like, motherfucker, no, I'm there with you too. Like, I see both of these. Like, okay, it's 10 seconds. We're gonna run down here, shoot paint for 10 seconds, just to stalemate it out. But then I also was like, I mean, I know we can't do anything. If it was 1 point, okay, maybe we go down here and see what the fuck can happen. Maybe we can draw a big ass penalty on them or something fucking crazy. But I don't know. That's my heatest moment, because I didn't exchange a lot of words because I was younger then, but now it would have been way more heated than it actually was, for sure. But
I think, I mean, when we say heated, I think of a confrontation, and I have a lot more confrontations in practice, more like going away practices, as we've talked about the flex stories and like shooting people's flexes and pieces on their face. I don't have a lot of that for tournaments, really, because I try to play extremely clean and like don't give them a reason to have me pulled, right? So the only time I can think is playing in low country many years ago. Many years ago. I was super young. And
this had to be 04?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
And I was in the Snake, the Viper at the time, and there's a kid that was in the 2, I think, and we were up on bodies. I just shot a guy, and I hear his gun shoot. Well, I just stay into the Viper, and it was the small little squares, the little bricks, the tiny ones. And I stand up over top of the 2 or the Viper, and he's crawling from the 2 into the Viper. And I shoot him 2 times. Boom, boom, in his head, and get back down. And then he comes around and just dunks me either way. And then we're sitting in the same bunker now, right? I literally turn around and stuck the gun directly in his fucking face, like touched him in the lens with it and shot him like 7 times in the lens. Thinking in my head, and this is a terrible way of thinking about it, I literally shot him like whack, and I'm like, I got up, you know what I mean? I'm like, I was so fucking mad. And my buddy at the time was like, what were you trying to do? And I'm like, I was trying to shoot through his lens and fucking bust his eyes out. And he was like, what? I'm like, yeah, I was trying to break his lenses. I'm like, he's a fucking cheater. I was, and now looking at it, I'm like, why would I ever do something like that?
Yeah.
I'm like, that is terrible.
That was Graydon, right? Talking to you?
Yeah.
I thought so.
He was like, I was gonna pull a penalty on the guy. He's like, now I pull a penalty, but I gotta pull you for a penalty.
Yeah,
He's like,
I'm pulling everybody. Everyone's getting penalties.
He's like, it's a malicious intent. I'm like, yeah, but did you get him for
did you get him for playing on?
For
I don't care at this point. You tried to blind the guy.
Yeah, he's like, you cheat. That is literally tech. I might have invented malicious intent.
Yeah,
like that's textbook example, malicious intent for sure.
I forgot about that story.
Get out of here.
I've heard that. Courtney popping her head in.
Yep, popping her head in. Get out of here. Nope.
She has clothes on this time, right?
Nope. Get out of here.
Y'all have fun.
We're getting ready to read your topics, maybe. Well, one of hers was the Team USA one. So this is one more from Arthur I got here. Comebacks can be either really easy to remember or hard to remember. But his question is, what's the greatest comeback you've ever had in a tournament? And I don't know if you want to take this as like one match in particular, or if you want to say like comeback to win the whole event. You can, I'll let you interpret, you know what I mean? Because you can look at it 2 different ways. Because there are comeback games too, where it's like you're down in a 1-on-5, you know what I mean? Or something crazy and come back and pull something wild off.
Yeah. Trying to think.
One of mine, and like I said, this is more taking it from the tournament as a whole, and it's not, in a way, it had comebacks in it throughout the whole thing. It was the MVPS, me, you, your brother, Ryan Bourne, Mike, and Courtney played.
Yeah.
Once we rolled through prelims pretty easy that day. I think we maybe dropped 1 point or 1 match or something. Yeah. We were pretty much rolling through. But after that, every point was overtime. And I want to say it was like we would lose the first match and win the next 2. Lose the first match, win the next 2. And I was like, God dang, guys, like we're going to make this as difficult as we possibly can. And then finally, I believe we took 3rd or 2nd. I think it was 3rd because we beat the last team because that guy was in a 1v5. Yeah. But that was, to me, those are comebacks, you know what I mean? Because it's, you go down 0-1 and we literally played every match we had to play. I mean, we literally doubled the amount of points we were going to have to play that day if we could have just closed people out.
A good comeback one I can think of, like as of recently, was probably the win at the CPSL in Jacksonville, because
that was my number 2.
Yeah, we did pretty well throughout the day. We got in the quarters with Gridlock and ran them in the dirt, and then we went to Tantrum, and it went to 2-2, I think. And that went overtime for a 5-minute point, and it went all the way down to the wire. Now, granted, we didn't drop any bodies. I think we beat them 5 alive, but we did it with like 40 seconds left on the clock.
Yep.
We played super slow, super methodical. Then we played Founding Fathers, that was actually their home field, and it was the same way. I think it got down to a 2-2 and overtime match on them for the finals, and same thing. Like, it was slow points, no crazy moves, and we beat him like 4 or 5 bodies up again, but we beat him with like 1 minute and 5 seconds on the clock. So something we burned all the clock out of the game. We like literally just drained that fucking game. It was wild.
It's crazy how much of that day I remember. Like, I remember the air stations being fucked up. I remember me asking the ref to chrono early, him telling me no. Then we start the first point, a body down. I remember getting pissed off and chronoing in the woods afterwards. I remember the fucking canopies ripping away because he had that wild storm blow through for 8 seconds in the middle of the day. And then, like you said, we won like our first match coming out of prelims pretty easy. And then it was like overtime to take first place. And there was 12 teams there.
Yeah, something.
I mean, another one, this could kind of be a comeback, and we've talked about it a little bit. It's the SPL me and like Shane won. There weren't a lot of teams. That was like 7 or 8 teams total at the event, but we barely squeaked out of prelims. Barely. But then it was after that we like 2-0, 2-0, and 2-0. And I was like, wow, guys, like, why couldn't we have won 6 games in a row earlier today? Like,
this earlier, yeah.
Yeah, it was like, okay, we're gonna win everything now. I mean, it makes it better to win it that way because it's like, oh, we're undefeated after the prelims, like 2-0, 2-0, 2-0. Quick, give me my shit and we get the fuck out of here, dog. Let me see. Did you have anything? This is a weird question. I was saving it for later. Like, I don't have one. You might. Arthur wants to know if you have a paintball catchphrase. I think I would know yours.
What is it?
You just like call people bums.
Yeah.
Or trash. That could be either one of those. I don't think you'd have anything else.
Yeah, that's probably about it. I mean, obviously I always yell like, get them out. Like,
yeah, get them. I mean, I say get them out. I say get people.
Everybody says that, really.
Yeah, I say get them out if I shoot a solid stream over that way. I just want the ref to run in there and check them and hopefully throw them off their game. Yeah. That's always my game plan with it. I've had a ref at an MVPS. I think it was MVPS. He was like, "Did you actually shoot the guy?" I was like, "Oh, I had no idea." I was like, I knew it was relatively close. I was like, but I just wanted you to literally go there. And my plan was to move once you blocked that side of the bunker. He was like,
yeah.
Oh, I'm like, yeah, you've never heard of people trying to do that? Like, I just want you to be in that guy's fucking way for a second.
What do you think about, did you see me coaching this weekend? Like multiple teams? Like positions and stuff?
Yeah.
All right. So, what do you think about, so I only played like 5-6 points. I didn't play many at all.
Yeah, that was a topic
sitting back.
Your wife gave me.
Say what?
Yeah, that was a topic your wife gave me to ask you why you only played 5 points.
Really, was it?
Yeah, that was on the list she sent me this morning.
Wow, that's funny. That is funny, actually. I think as of lately, the last probably month, I feel better sitting on the outside and watching how games break down, win, lose, or draw, and then correcting the mistakes that I see that are happening throughout the game. Because there are a lot.
Oh, yeah. Hands down.
There are a lot. And I think that goes for paintball in general, that dedicated coaches and there are teams that when they get a dedicated coach,
are hands down better than other teams.
Yeah, yes. They can sit back and then critique every small thing and adjust, and then fix all the small little like errors that everybody's doing. Just to go over a couple last weekend. We had the Kings out here. We had 843. We had Titans. I think had 2 lines and a 3-man line. We had Project X, and we had our guys and a few walk-ons. So we had a blend of guys. 843 needed a guy throughout the day, so we kind of were mixing a little bit dudes up with them, but I really wanted to save myself just for that team, really, because I like playing those guys. Iron sharpens iron is kind of how I see that, right?
Yep. And
I think we did really well, but I wanted to play a few points, see how we did, and then obviously didn't have Shane, or Sean, as Brandon likes to say, didn't have Shane. And
is that what Brantley calls him?
Yes, he like that's just what he calls him. And we went to Rachel's afterwards, and we're all eating. And he was like, he asked, he's like, "Hey, did Sean quit?" And I'm like, we're all kind of like looking around, like, huh? He's like, Sean, see, he had a whole bunch of gear up online for sale. And I'm like, and then I knew who he's talking about. I'm like, no, he didn't quit. And then like Brandon goes back to eating, and then Courtney's like in my ear, she's like, "Duh, are you gonna tell him his name's Shane?" I'm like, he's been calling him Sean forever. I'm like, I'm just let him call him Sean. Like,
that's so funny.
Yeah.
That's pure gold.
He even called him Sean like 4 times the fucking CPSL. He's like, yeah, Sean was shooting inside. I'm like, or whatever we played last time. I don't know what it was.
Yeah.
I think it was a practice, and he was talking about him.
God, that is fucking funny.
Sean usually shoots in the home and shoots inside. And I'm like, he's definitely talking about Shane. God, but anyways. Yeah. Anyways, it's funny because it's like, sitting back and adjusting the small errors of everybody that I could see that, like, no, we should be doing this. Like, you should have went this. You should have shot here. Like I seen a lot of times the guns were really good, and I'm really happy that we got guys like the 843 boys who our guns were zeroed the fuck in on the break.
Oh, I know they were.
And a couple times we shot them and it bounced, but it was like an extra. It wasn't just like one graze off the elbow pad. It was like a direct hit or like 2 balls. And if they went in on the break, they just got out. Like Davies went in the snake. Like I adjusted, and we never shot this lane, not one time, but I've adjusted Hayden's gun just to shoot a weird gap on the snake to see if it would work. And he shot like Davies like once or twice, I think twice going out. And I don't think it broke, but he just, for out of like respect, because the gun was there and the shots were there in a tournament, it's gonna break. He just got up and walked off the field. So, and it's great to play guys like that, because some people you play, they'll be going in and you're shooting these lanes and you have no fucking clue if you're too high, you're too low, you're behind, you're in front, and they don't say shit. They just get in the snake and they shoot people, and you're like, oh look, you win.
He's running through my cap.
Yeah, I'm like, damn, I swear I was shooting that shit, you know. But same thing, like, so it's great to play guys like that, first of all. But second of all, it's good that I like being able to take off the reps and see all these small things that we can critique, and then the game is like way quicker, right? Because you guys played Kings and a couple small things, and we were way up in bodies. We were like 5-on-2, and you were like fucking around at home. And then I see Jamie went from alpha to delta to Denver, and he was in the Denver controlling the Dorito side, and he was just sitting there. But he didn't have any help to contain the Doritos, which would have came from you.
Yeah, no, for sure.
Like you thought he was dead, right? And it's like, but we had a 5-on-2 situation. It drew out like a minute before he shot the last 2 guys. I'm like, we won like 5 bodies up, and I'm coming down. I'm like, why the fuck are we sitting here an extra minute on the field when it's a 5-on-2? We could just ice these dudes out and just end the game, right? And then I caught Kyle twice in a row going from the fire to the ice, and he would go into the ice dry, like he wouldn't load.
So that's annoying.
Shoot. Frank would be in the snake 2, and then Kyle would slide to the ice. He'd slide in, get in, look inside, put his gun down, pull pot out, load it, come up, go on the outside, begin to shoot. And I seen it happen once, and I said, hey man, listen, we got to work on gun up the whole way, or just straight in, and you have to be loaded going in, and then you're going straight to the wire and just already pre-firing the shot, because there's a big chance that you catch the guy on the outside in the corner or the ice that's slipping, or you just so happen to get paintball luck and the guy is crawling around the outside of the snake and you just fucking beam his ass. But what we can't do is go to the ice, or if a snake corner is over there with no paint in your gun, and they're going to see the bunker move or something, right? And you're looking inside. Now you've given up the act of surprise, which you have, right? And you've given that up. And it's like, now they know where you are, your gun's down, and you're just moved to a bunker, right? So then like 3 games later, he does the same shit, runs back in ice, slides in, looks to the left, loads, coming outside, gets dominance and stays there. I'm like, we win like 4 or 5 buys up. I'm like, Kyle, like, what did we talk about? He's like, yeah. I'm like, we have got to load. I'm like, I know you. I know you want to go. Like, you're shooting. And sometimes that is like that. Sometimes you're shooting. You got
no choice.
The lane drops. You're like, oh fuck, I'm going to the snake. But you're not playing the snake. You already have a 1 up there. So you're playing the contain. So you're shooting. You can just go, load, and you're going looking. You're like, let me go and get this ice real quick. Come up, get on the outside, contain it. But I'm like, if we can fix these small things, right, and then the game is like better, just like 1% better, and then we try to fix you to get out faster on the Dorito side, it's like 2% better.
Oh yeah.
And then I was watching when it was her and Jamie twice in a row on the Doritos. They shot, I think, Tyler out early on going to the 100, I think, and then Brantley went, or no, sorry, 2 different games in a row, my bad. Brantley went to the 100 on the break. They shot him out on the break, and then Tyler never filled over. So Tyler stayed in the home, right? Then they had Avery went from the Sierra, or he went from the fire into the snake. Matthew went from the corner up to the ice. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 3, and they shot another guy. So and they had a guy in the snake, I think. So when they went up and played that, I was like, I asked Tyler, I'm like, they let her, she went all the way down to the danger, and they started doing like damage because they didn't have anybody out wide to contain that. Really,
Yeah.
Avery went up to the Sierra and he was just shooting back in the Doritos, and then her team shot the guy out in the snake. So then it was Davies that was in the ice. Then he laid down, tried to crawl into the snake, and got clipped by Kyle that was in the Seattle, I believe. And then that left him watching Avery watching the Dorito side, and Tyler mainly watching snake side, but he's still in the home.
Yeah.
We're talking about like 45 seconds into the late into the game where we didn't get any push. And I was like, I kind of talked to him. I'm like, you know, we know you guys didn't contain your side. Like once you lost that, you never filled back out and counterpunched that. And I told Avery, I'm like, I probably would have jumped over from the Sierra to the Delta. And he was like, well, yeah, I was kind of thinking about that. I'm like, well, you had to do something.
Yeah, at least make an attempt.
You have to get over there to stop that bleed, because you're just like, it's a fucking put a tourniquet on it. Like they're coming down the outside and nothing's stopping them, because Jamie was in the 300 and she was in the danger probably 20-30 seconds in. And then another point down the row, something similar. What they did was I critiqued our guys on not containing earlier on the Ruta side. So the next time that happened, we did the exact opposite. They put Tyler in the 100. I think he got clipped maybe going in. Brantley was in the home. He went to get out wide, and he went to the Alpha. And then I told Jamie and her, or whoever's playing the 2, that if we drop a side, we need to be rolling down that side, and we are having a gun. The 2 is containing the end. So the guy, whoever is the 2 on that side that has lost that 1, can't come back out. And he is forced to stay inside and play inside, and then he's worthless on the wire.
Yeah.
And then you could just run down the fucking side of the field. And that's kind of what happened. They put Brantley, he went to fill out, he got stuck at the Alpha, and they just shot. And then Kyle, I think, got to the danger, and then I think she or Jamie was in the 200 or the Delta, and they just sat there the whole time, just shooting it, and would not let them get out to the 100 or the corner. Just sat there the whole time. So then they had nobody wider than the Alpha. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's like the small things, like, let's just fix this 5% better, fix this 2% better.
No, it makes sense.
Yeah, you know what I mean. And at the end of the day, watching the points go, I wasn't even playing, and we were still winning very good. You know what I mean?
I mean, that's how I feel like when I know I'm coaching in MVPS. I normally don't play the 2 weekends prior. Like I normally get 2 full weekends of watching you guys play, and I can see how a field breaks down. I feel like we said, I mean, we can almost have a topic on a whole podcast on dedicated coaching. I feel like that helps us a lot. Like, obviously I want to be out there playing, but when I can step back and see everything from like the 6th man, and I can go, hey, do this. And then when a tournament comes and it walk off the field, I can tell you, hey, they sent a 1 here, a 2 there, a 3 there. Hey, someone's got to kill the Viper off the break. Frank, you got to get down there and match him. I feel like we play better. You know what I mean? Like just having that extra person. Like, it's crazy. I was going to tell you something. You said something during that. I meant to tell you this. From that Alpha, the ice can shoot the Alpha in the back. I don't know if that's just on our field.
Want to say that again?
The ice from the snake side can shoot the Alpha in the pack. Obviously vice versa.
I think there is a blind shot. I can see the top of the ice.
I could see the bunker yesterday from both Alphas.
I can't really remember.
I could see the ice.
I do remember shooting the ice from the Alpha for sure. In Augusta, I do remember shooting that. I knew they were in the ice, and I just shot like.
Yeah, over the wing or whatever it is, the brick. Yeah.
So I just shot over the snake into the ice.
You had there's a line of sight. It wasn't a big one, but you could actually see if there was a person. I played it and I looked over and I literally saw a dude's mask, and I shot the guy from the Alpha, and then like he started putting paint back on me, and I was like, oh, those are really fucking close. Like, so I don't know how it's gonna be at the MVPS, but just be careful, because it might actually be like a small line of sight there. I meant to say that yesterday, but I forgot. Yeah. What else? Did you have anything else, sir? I'm looking at Team USA is on my other screen here. So if you're interested, go sure to check out their Instagram page. There's lots of comments on there. You can have some fun reading everybody.
There was like 500 comments the night of. I can
Yeah,
only
there was
imagine.
I think 1,000 when Courtney texted me. I don't know what it's at now. On the up to date one, there's 200, and the other one there's 1,200. So the most recent one is just shy of 200, a little over 1,200. But well, cool. If you don't have anything else, I will take us out of here. Thanks for listening, watching, all that fun stuff, and good luck to all the teams in the MVPS. Good luck to whoever wins that one-on-one. I'm kind of disappointed if I don't see you and Jamie competing in it. It's gonna be on the webcast too, so
Is it?
yeah, you better do it, dog.
You guys just gotta get some screen time, dude.
Yeah, you got it. You got it.
All the screen need all the screen time. All the screen time.
You got it.
I
Come
don't
on with
know if
some
all the
coins.
D3 being webcasted. I'm not sure
Yeah.
how that works.
Yes, they should be.
Because it's not a lot of teams. I think like 12 or 15 teams, I think. So it's not like a whole bunch.
Yeah, I believe D3 is always on the webcast. I don't think they show any D5 teams on the webcast till the finals. I
Yeah.
think that's how that works.
Yeah.
So I think D3 gets it all day. But yeah, well, good luck to all the teams there. Good luck to you guys, especially Veteran Militia, all our other friends. And we'll see you guys on the next one. Peace out.
Later.